This is the footage of a CCTV camera, enough to give you goosebumps. This quite spooky video is footage of a backyard showing what looks like an ordinary night until something strange happens. At first sight, all seems well and above reproach. The slide stands still in front of the dim outdoor light as the leaves just blow gently. Then, suddenly, it appears as if a ghost has walked by the slide. At first, it is difficult to discern its outline, and it only resembles an indistinct figure of a man, or a shadow moving in the night. It doesn't walk as any human would. It glides, barely visible, a little glowy, and it flickers. Right before you think it may have been your imagination, the figure reappears, more visible this time, almost like an outline of a person. The strange form moves out of sight, and the slide. What do you think it was? A simple illusion during the shot or something more evil? Why did it appear to disappear that mysteriously? But this is nothing compared to the next clip. This creepy video from the school on the south side of Cork City will bring chills down your spine. At first, the hallway is eerily silent. And then suddenly the third cabinet on the right starts moving forcefully. It seems like someone is moving that cabinet back and forth, or it moves as if there is someone trapped inside, trying to break free. And just as abruptly as it started, it stopped, leaving the place silent again. After a tense pause, the next uncanny occurrence takes place. A locker on the left side of the hall opens suddenly and papers flutter on the table. As if it is trying to make its presence known. Right after, the signboard on the floor slides forward, as if it is kicked by someone. It slides forward just far enough to bend in the middle and then breaks in half as another loud cracking sound rings out in the quiet hall. This chilling video captures the haunting experience of a dimly lit room. It seems that the person filming is nervous, which is why the picture is constantly shaking. The room looks empty, but only until darkness falls. When the room is dark, a figure, barely visible, appears, hiding at the corner, lurking in the darkness, watching. Then, as soon as the lights came back on, the figure disappeared. The camera just focuses and aims at a particular part of the room, and the lighting continues, and there isn't any movement, and then suddenly the lens gets a shot of the outside. Standing in the utterly dark hallway outside the room, a mysterious man looks back, unmoving and shadowy, as if watching the person filming. This video gives the audience the creeps. Who or what was that figure, and why is it gone when the lights are turned on? Next up is an unnerving video clip where a live reporter is reporting on what is going on at a local cemetery. They show a woman looking at the camera and talking earnestly under a grey sky, giving the report. But there is something or somebody slightly behind her, unnoticed. As the video rolls, a pale figure is seen in the background, standing partially behind the gravestone on the left. It is somewhat spooky and stands still, almost merging with the darkness. The face of the figure looks blurred, silently watching from the dark background. Still, she goes on recording her report calmly, not knowing the company she is in, as the fiery reporter himself stands a few feet from her. It isn't until this part of the footage is played later that one can notice the figure of the spectre-like entity, which causes further uncertainty about what or who it might be. There was nothing more than an illusion in this picture, or maybe there was a much deeper and evil meaning behind the greyish cemetery. What do you think about it? This disturbing video shows what looks like that of a man late at night in his office working, and then strange noises start to ring through the room. He looks up and starts to fidget at the doors, seeing if he can see where the sounds may be coming from. Standing up, the shadow of a figure faintly flashes through a window that's across from his desk. The lights pulsate in a fit, then the door slowly opens on its own. He glances around, confused, returns to his desk, and hopes it's his imagination. Again, the eerie noises begin, this time louder. He again stands up to go check what these noises are and from where they come, but as he returns after checking, a nearby chair thumps across the floor, leaving him terrified. Wide-eyed with terror, he freezes, screams, and runs, leaving it to the viewers to wonder what kind of shadowy figure was it and where it went when he escaped from the room. This chilling footage was taken in a dimly lit room where two cats lay about casually until strange stuff started coming around. The cats smell the air, apparently content, but the table in the corner starts to tremble slightly. One cat starts to move around here and there as if sensing something not seen. The creak of the door comes from the inside and the fur on both cats stands on edge. There, the background fills with a dark, fast-moving shape sliding across from the edge of the background, almost blending into the darkness itself. Cats stare, their eyes wide, and they stare directly into the darkness, seemingly tracking the shadow like it's some kind of thing that should not be noticed. But the cracks revealed by this unsettling video include questions like, what was that shadow? Do cats know there's more to see in the shadows than we do? In this eerie footage, a photographer captures a peaceful scene by a Scottish river in broad daylight, hoping to film the scenic view of the river. But when they review the video later, something strange and ghostly shows up on the left among the trees. First, the camera is on the riverbank, with only rustling leaves and slight sounds of water. An unusual stirring occurs, but in the corner, as the trees seem to thicken around, something unrecognizable stirs. A vague, shifting figure barely visible. It seems to morph, trying to hold in shape and move, and at the same time anonymously appear and melt in and out of that shadow that the trees cast. The figure isn't immediately clear, but as you gaze, it becomes more and more unnerving, the way that its movements seem almost spectral. The trees slip past their silhouette, sometimes pausing, shifting again as if watching the scene. Its very slight presence begs viewers, what is this? Play of the light or something much more enigmatic hiding among the Scottish woods? This spine-tingling footage shows a security guard alone late at night. He looks like he's sitting quietly, then something seems to pass over him and he stands up and looks around to try to figure out what's wrong. He steps away. His chair suddenly moves, even in its own movement. Cowering in shock, he watches as a stick on the ground starts to move, almost like an invisible hand was playing with it. The guard returns, concerned, and puts his chair back, but the feeling stays eerie. A while later, a nearby dog starts to bark furiously, staring at something in the darkness he can't see. Shapes flicker too. The guard raises his chair off the ground once again for a few seconds before it drops again. He's terrified, runs away from there, and returns a few minutes later, believing it was all in his imagination. However, now that he's entered again, he's slammed backward onto the ground, a bit rattled. With this terrifying footage, viewers are left in mystery of what happened next.